أنه يكون معنا اليوم إحدى الشخصيات المشاركة بكوب 28 معالي ديفيد بيرد رئيس وزراء برمودا. Good morning, Your Excellency, and welcome.
Good morning, Hala, to you. It is an absolute pleasure to be here.
It's our pleasure, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, tell us more about your participation in COP 28, how Bermuda is contributing to this huge event, and what's the delegation structure from Bermuda?
Well, this year we have our largest delegation at a COP event. It is composed of myself, also my Deputy Premier, who is the Minister of Energy and the Environment, and has been the Minister of the Energy and the Environment for 6 years. In addition, we have an entire youth delegation as well as technical officers from the government of Bermuda. And so we are thrilled to be here. We're also represented here by our insurance industry as well. What people may not know is that Bermuda is the world's risk capital.
Yes.
And we have almost all of the large insurers in the world that have operations in Bermuda, and 15 of the top 50 insurers in the world are actually based right out of Bermuda with their global headquarters.
Impressive, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, if we want to talk about the international level at the impact of environmental protection, renewable energy, climate actions, and all of these topics which COP28 is gathering the people from all over the world for. What do you aspire to achieve during this event, which is a little bit different than what we had before? Because maybe we had amazing promises, but were there always commitments? Were every agreement achieved, yes or no? So what do you want to have this year in a different way?
Well, I think for myself, as a leader of a very small island, we do not contribute to climate change, but we are the ones that feel the greatest effects. Unlike, however, other small island states, Bermuda actually has a very important role to play. As I had mentioned, our insurance industry being incredibly large, we have over $1 trillion of insurance assets that are in the island. And we believe that those investments can be used in the way that can ensure that communities are resilient. That is called climate risk finance, climate mitigation finance. Ours is just called climate finance. Whatever it is important that we make sure we tell the story. So a perfect example is, at an earlier last week, there was a reception for the Commonwealth Secretary General. King Charles was there, the insurance industry was there, and the Secretary General of the Commonwealth was speaking to me. And she was saying how we need to make sure that we get insurance companies involved in dealing with climate finance. I was able to tell her, and also the King, that Bermuda has been doing that for the last 2 years. When we went to COP26, we announced the fact that we are putting ESG goals and targets inside of our insurance companies, our investments. So as in many cases, it is Bermuda that is leading the discussion on matters related to climate finance. And given that there is such a heavy focus on climate finance, we believe we're ideally positioned to share what it is that we've done, and also to let persons know that our insurance industry has been working on this for the last 2 years and is ready to contribute to the solutions of climate finance.
Absolutely. If I want to move, zoom in even further into Bermuda, in addition to the great examples you kindly shared with us, what do you also aspire to achieve for Bermuda in terms of agreements, partnerships? Is it with UAE? Is it with other countries contributing? What's your aspiration towards that?
Well, that's a great question, because typically I do not attend COP events. That is typically by my Deputy Premier, who is the climate change leader. He was actually awarded Caribbean Climate Leader last year. They wanted to give him the awards 2 years in a row, but he was unable to get it.
Congratulations.
And so
to
from
him
that
and
aspect,
to Bermuda.
well, I mean, we've been leading on the matters of climate, but my presence here is because my government has a desire to deepen relations with the United Arab Emirates. We believe that our countries have similar backgrounds, but also we are small countries that play an outsized role on the global stage. The UAE as a center for gathering, a center for energy, and a place that has, taken a very important place in the world stage. Whereas Bermuda, a tiny country, 65,000 people, only 20 square miles, but one of the highest per capita GDPs in the world, and also an outsized insurance industry. What we want to do is to deepen the relations between the UAE and Bermuda. And so I was here earlier this year at events. I was in Abu Dhabi in March for Investopia at the invitation of the Minister of the Economy. We're back here again.
And amazing speech. I attended it.
Well, thank you so much. You're far too kind. And so from that aspect, we are deepening relationships with the UAE. So whether it's discussions with Mubadala, with Masdar, talking about renewable energy and infrastructure projects in Bermuda. In addition to that, also making sure that we engage on a government-to-government level, because there's significant expertise that the UAE has that we can share, but we do not consider this a one-way street, because Bermuda has excellence in regulation, certainly in insurance and digital assets. And so we are continuing to build those linkages so we can share our knowledge with the UAE and the UAE can share their knowledge with us.
Yeah, and actually Bermuda has proven that the size of the country doesn't like judge or decide on its achievements. And I heard great news. You're planning to decarbonize all the fleets in Bermuda. Tell us more about that.
Well, Hala, you are absolutely correct. And that is something that we are very excited because we believe that small nations can show an example to larger countries. And because we can do it at scale, because we are so small, we can partner with other organizations to drive this. And they can say, look, this is how you do it in a small country, and then you can do it at scale. So for us, our plan is to eliminate the importation of internal combustion engines by 2035. And so from that aspect, we can go ahead and lead the energy transition for our passenger vehicles. But while we're looking for that for our citizens, the government has led over 70% of our public bus fleet is now electric. And we are going to make sure that we have a fully electric bus fleet. So we are not importing any more internal combustion buses. So when our last diesel buses go out of service in the next 2 years, we'll have a fully electric bus fleet. But the most important thing from an overall transition perspective is that because we are so small, we can make sure whether it's the electric bikes or the electric vehicles, we're going to do that. So our target is to make sure that we hit the 2035. We're going to make sure that persons have the ability to get these electric vehicles. In our country, we've already eliminated imports, customs duty imports on electric vehicles, so they're duty-free to spur the transition. And the other benefit of Bermuda, and the reason that we can do this before other countries, because we are so small, we don't have to worry about charging infrastructure all throughout the country. The average vehicle travels 35 kilometers a day, and therefore you people can go to work, go home, do their things, and just come home and plug in. And so that's what we're looking forward to.
Amazing. Kudos and congratulations to this, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, UAE is celebrating the 52nd Union Day. What's your message to all the people living in the UAE?
Well, what I would say is that it is an amazing country. And for the 52nd anniversary, look back at the progress of what has been achieved over the last 52 years. I mean, even in the last 25 years, there's been a significant amount of change. And I think that the next 50 years will certainly see a rise of the United Arab Emirates. As I remember when I was here in March, it is the intersection of everywhere, the intersection of Asia, the intersection of Europe, and the intersection of Africa. And I think they'll play an increasing role in the future of leadership in not only the region, but the world. So for that, I would say congratulations to the Emiratis, congratulations to those who have called this place home, and it will be continued growth. And we hope to develop our relationships and hopefully plan to join you at one point in time in the celebrations.
Of course, Your Excellency David Burt, thank you so much for being with us today.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.